Hello and welcome to the author series, Between the Margins, where I, Amara Wynn, sit down and talk to other indie authors. I guess they don't have to be indie, they could be traditional published authors, and talk to them about their book, their process, their life, how they got where they are. Am I wearing the same thing I was wearing in my last interview? Yes, I am. Is that because I did two interviews back to back? Yes, it is. So this upcoming interview is with Louella Ranes, and I hope to God I am saying that correctly. And you will now see that I am now holding the mic, and I have been in my last interview and this one because, frankly, I'm tired of leaning all the way in and screaming at my computer. It is cold, so I am bundled up in several layers. But before we move on to this amazing interview with Louella Ranes, I have to again promote my own book more than I expected. It does have two different covers, one cover for paperback and one cover for an ebook, which currently right now is only on Amazon. But if you have Amazon Kindle Unlimited, then you can download it and read it. In case you didn't know this, every time you turn a page on a Kindle Unlimited book, an indie author gets their wings. I just thought you should know that because that's how we get paid is every page that is turned. And most people don't like to talk about that. But I'm here to let you know. I also would be glad to send you a signed copy. I'm going to start selling them on my website soon. Here is my website. And okay, let's quit talking about me. Let's get back to the author, Louella Ranes. Hello, my name is Amara Wynn, and I am here with another indie author by the name of Louella Ranes. And Louella has chosen to not show her face, but I promise you, behind the covers of her book is a real person. I know because I saw her, and you don't get to, but I did. Louella Ranes has been writing since she was young. Apparently, this is what she's always wanted to do. And A Demon's Fascination was her first published work. She doesn't want you to know where she lives. I don't blame you, but it's somewhere in the mountain west part of the U.S. And she's oftentimes outside in nature because she likes to be outside. I can't relate in any way whatsoever. She has a husband, a son, and three amazing dogs. Welcome to a writer series, Luella. I am glad to have you here.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, so exciting. And before we even get started, you currently have two books out right now,
Yes, I do.
and you got a third one on the way.
Coming out in May.
Oh, that's right
Mhm.
around the corner. Well, if you need an
Yeah.
ARC reader, let me volunteer my services.
That sounds good.
Okay, so let's talk about your books. Tell me about your two books, or it's a series.
It's a series. It's
Tell
a
me
four
about
book
your series.
series total. Yeah.
How many? Four?
So four. There will be four books.
Ooh.
So just as a tidbit, I have written all four of them. They are already ready to go, except for the covers have not been chosen yet. Because one of my biggest pet peeves is to start a series, binge it, and then have to wait a year or two for the next book. So I
I
made a
too
dis
hate that. I hate that so much. But I have a feeling that
terrible.
my sequel is going to take a long time to write. So you're doing this the smart way.
Yeah, I promised myself that as a reader and as a writer, that I would, if I was going to do a series, write the whole series at one time. Way easier for me to do because then I can get timelines more accurate and then
So smart.
publish them separately. Mhm.
Huh. That's really smart. It's like when they film the Lord of the Ring movies all at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's smart. Okay.
It's
Well, I did not do that, but I will take that tip as we go forward because that's actually really smart. Now tell us about your world.
okay. So I invented a world called Yiddera, and it is inhabited by the Allurans. And within the Allurans, there are three separate races. There's the Seorai, the Luzavat, and the Terrakin. And the Seorai are the eternal immortals. They're the demons, the demon race, who happen to feed on the fear of and pain of other species. Yeah, it's just the way they maintain their longevity, their magic, etc.
I guess
Within the
I read the first book and
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, I guess that's exactly how I would describe it. Like,
Yeah.
you made it
Within
sound
the
so
Sayora,
simple, but when I was reading it, it didn't sound so simple.
right, right. And I think it's simple for me because I've lived with them for so long.
That
So
makes
it's
sense.
it's a little different there. Within the Sayora is a race of people called the Chosin as well. They're a subset of the Eternals who actually sacrifice themselves to the world, actually to the sentient being who wears the world as a skin. I don't go into that in the books, but they have to sacrifice themselves to keep the world healthy and happy and magical. And so that's why in the books I have the Myst. If you've read my books, you've heard about the Myst.
Yes.
And the Myst is important to keep everybody happy and healthy and all of that kind of stuff. But if something were to lock the Myst and they can't get out, then no sacrifices can be made. So world will start dying. That's
Okay.
background I didn't necessarily add in the book, but kind of helps explain the world.
Oh, so you're explaining it and everything is kind of starting to click into place a little bit for me. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, I also learned how to pronounce everything that I was 1000% guessing on. I
Yeah.
I'm sitting here listening to you going, "Oh, I wasn't saying that right in my head at all."
And it sounds so right in my head that it surprises me when people don't know it right away. So I actually did a video on my website for the pronunciation of the first book. I'm in the process of making a pronunciation guide for the second book.
That's so smart. Look, you are
Yeah.
thinking ahead.
Well, actually, it happened because somebody who read my book couldn't pronounce the name Amalie. And I thought Amalie would be one of the easiest names to
That's
pronounce.
exactly how I thought it was pronounced.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I kept getting Emily or Amalie or Amalie. And I was like, well, no, it's Amalie. So I decided, well, let's make a guide. So
That's actually really smart. I love it when
yeah.
I get like a book and I see like a little thing in the beginning that says this is how you pronounce their names. But
Yeah.
even then, as I'm reading it, my brain's still going to make it what it wants to be.
Oh, completely, completely. And I think that's another thing that I with the characters, I described them to some degree, but not fully, because I wanted you to use your imagination on what the people looked like and what they were, and what I consider handsome or sexy is not what you consider handsome or sexy or fearful or alluring or whatever. And so I wanted you to use your imagination because I there was a book I read when I was younger. The girl is brunette in my head, but towards the end, I'm sorry, she's blonde in my head. Towards the end, she's brushing her brown hair, and I'm like, wait, what?
I get that. I get that. I struggle that with as an author myself, like
Mhm,
how much description do you give? Because I kind of like
mhm.
the idea of somebody making that character their own because it's mine, but I also want it to be theirs as well. It's
Yeah.
tough. It's
It
tough.
is it is
You did a
super
really good
tough.
job though.
Yes. Well, thank you. So the book starts out in the year 825, and I organize my books through years instead of chapters.
You did.
And so the year 825 is actually going to take place in book four, but we're introducing it. And then, so Tayen is one of the immortal Seorais, and he's telling this story. So it's kind of him just giving us background to get to his story. So the
Okay, so
humans, oh,
go ahead. Nope, continue.
that's okay. I was just going to say, so humans land on the world kind of by accident, and to find that it's already inhabited. And then, of course, everything begins, fear starts, people start dying. Uh, they're like, oh my gosh, this beautiful place that we thought was going to be heaven basically is now hell. What are we going to do? And while all this kind of chaos is going on, they're starting to create this new civilization for themselves, and a human and a demon fall in love.
Yep, that's what. Okay, so in a demon's fascination, love
Mhm,
in that is, I'm glad you said that last, was
mhm,
very transformative and dangerous. What
mhm.
drew you as the author to explore romance where loving someone can literally put everybody at risk?
Oh, that's a hard question to answer because I'm not sure. That's what they told me happened.
I say in every interview, I think if you're not an author, you don't get it. The characters decide on their own.
I've argued with my characters, and sometimes most of the time they win.
Same.
Um,
Okay, so it's not just you; it's everybody that I've interviewed feels the exact same way.
yeah. So I wanted, so book one actually was never meant to be written. I had actually lived with book two in my head since I was a preteen. I had
Okay.
known the characters from that book for years, and I knew Tayen for years. But I knew that I didn't know anything else really about them. And then one day I realized that Tayen was actually two people. He's Tam and Tayen. So I made them twins. And once I knew that they were no longer just one person, I knew what happened. So I was like, oh, great, nice. And so I started writing my books. And then I was like, well, no, if I don't tell them about Tam, nothing else makes sense.
I actually like that you talked about the brothers quite a bit because I
Mhm.
think Tam and Tayen, which I
Tayen.
pronounced that wrong, even
That's
though it's
okay.
spelled just like it's
Yeah,
pronounced.
Tayen.
My brain just did
Okay.
whatever it wanted to do.
It's
They,
okay.
I know it was with me, but I know other readers also felt the same way that these two characters resonated with each other. I mean, I felt
Mhm.
that. How
Yeah.
important was it for you to explore the love, the loyalty, the betrayal, everything besides just romance?
It was very important to me because I wanted my characters to be more real. I wanted people to understand that there can be love between friends and brothers, and Tam and Tayan as twins were very close. And I didn't want them to be the typical storybook twins where one's bad and one's good. I wanted them to be a little bit of both. And then I wanted one to find love. And when you're so close to somebody and you're best friends with somebody and that person finds love, all of a sudden you kind of feel like a third wheel. And so I wanted to explore that a little bit in there. And then within all of that, I wanted there to be some life changing events. So we do have a tragedy that happens in that book because I felt it was important to explore grief in the face of love and how grief can totally change a person from who they are inside to something they don't recognize anymore.
That's so true. And you did it
Yeah.
beautifully.
Thank you.
Now, I don't know a whole lot about the second book, and that's
Mhm.
called A Demon's Desire.
Yes.
Okay, I want to make
Yes.
sure to get that right. I don't know a
That's
whole
okay.
lot, but I do know that
Mhm.
prophecy plays a central role across your series,
The whole series.
the
Yeah.
whole series. So, what fascinates you about characters who are actively resisting destiny instead of just embracing it?
Just embracing. Well, it's something that I've thought of. And my husband is very philosophical. And so we've had these philosophical discussions about fate and destiny, and you name it, we've probably talked about it. But there's a kind of a theory in a lot of books and just in the world in general that if you're destined to do something, you're destined. So pull on your big boy pants and go get it done. But in reality, if you're destined to do something, do you actually want to do that? You should have a choice. It's your life, right? So the whole destiny thing that flows through is kind of exploring, especially in Demon's Desire, is exploring I don't want to do this. I don't want to be the one destined to do this, especially when I'm destined to do something that's harmful.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
often thought about that and I know for me personally, and maybe I'm not the only, I hope I'm not the only one. When you feel this pull to something and you're like, this is
Mhm.
something that I'm meant to do, but you just don't want to do it because
Yeah.
it doesn't resonate with you, then
Yeah.
why do I have to do it?
Exactly. Exactly. And so I kind of wanted to explore that feeling. Um, in book two, we have Adam and Montserrat. And book two takes place a little over 300, almost 400 years after book one after book one starts. So that kind of thing. And in book one, it talks about it's really hard to talk about book two without giving away book one.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
yeah, and I haven't read it yet, so
So I won't talk
be
about it too
gentle.
much other than Moonsra is destined to fill the second half of the prophecy.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. I can take that.
Yeah.
Now,
And she doesn't want to.
yeah. Okay. If you haven't read it, none of this makes sense, but I promise you it's
Yeah.
worth the read. Go ahead and give it a read. I've noticed that because I was looking through your reviews, a lot of people are all about praising the slow burn romance, and you have
Yes.
mastered emotional tension. I think
Oh,
that's
well,
great.
thank you.
Yeah, you did great. How do you
Yeah.
balance the restraint and payoff when it comes to writing chemistry without actually overwhelming the story? Because that's very common for authors to do.
Yeah. Um, that's a really hard balance, actually. I'll read books that are really good, but the spice level or the intimacy is so detailed that it kind of turns me off. Or I've read books where it feels like that's the book and the plot is just there to fill the scenes. And I
Yeah.
didn't want to do that. So I wanted to balance that to some degree. But I also have felt that yes, you want to see the start of things and you want to fill that. I mean, we as readers like to read that kind of thing. Like, yeah. But also closed door. Let them do their own thing. Use your imagination on what's happening behind there. I've gave you enough hints. It goes from there.
You did really well
Yeah.
with that
Thank you.
by kind of leaving it to our imagination
Yeah.
without just shoving it in our face. You did a really
Yeah.
good job balancing that emotional tension between, you just did great. And I don't want to give
Thank you.
out too much because people haven't
Yeah.
read it yet.
No. Thank you. I will have to say the other thing is that my mom is the first person who has read my books, and it's really embarrassing to write sex scenes knowing she's going to read them.
Poor mom.
Yeah, yeah. So there is that, but mainly I just
Oh,
like the idea of that tension, that it feels good to start falling in love, and that your skin tingling when you start getting excited about, ooh, I'm going to kiss him, I'm going to touch him, or he's going to kiss me or touch me, and then show a little bit and leave it behind. And I think that that's more interesting for me to read. So, which is kind of why I wrote it that way.
because then you can make them as nasty as you want to in your
And
imagination.
oh yeah, man, in my imagination, it is triple X. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciate your honesty. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, now tell me how to pronounce the word. Is it Yadira?
Yiddera.
Oh, look at me. Oh.
You're
All right.
great.
So
Yeah.
the world that you built of your Yadira.
Yiddera.
Yadira. I said it right the first time and then I
Yeah.
messed it up. Okay.
That's okay.
It feels lived in. Like it feels very rich. It feels lived in. It
Okay.
feels like a place that's kind of emotionally grounded. What
Mhm.
came first for you since you've had this story in your head a long time? Was it the world building? Was it the actual demons themselves? Or was it the love story?
Um, okay, that's a good question. I like it. So Moonsra and Adam were the first people. So they have lived with me my whole life. So the characters, their love story has been the longest. And then the world building was kind of an interesting about why I never published, why I never really set it down on pen and paper. I have stacks of writings of this place, but I kept trying to put it on Earth and it wasn't working. And then one day, and I sound crazy here, so sorry. One day I woke up from a dream and I had dreamt of the world. I knew its name. I knew what it looked like. I knew what it smelled like. And once I had that, I knew how to write the stories.
Everything just fell into place.
It just fell into place. But it took years for me to go from, I have all these characters and they're loud in my head, but they have no place to go because I didn't know where they lived yet.
So it was
Yeah.
like I have these characters first, I have their love story.
Mhm.
Now I got to build them a place to live.
Yeah.
And then the demons?
No, well, kind of. Adam always started up. living in a different dimension, and Moonsra had to get him from that dimension. And I'm like, well, why would he live in a different dimension? That's kind of weird.
That's true. That's true.
And yeah, like that's kind of weird. And then so I started talking with him more and realizing more about him. And that's when the demon aspect came, right before the world building.
Okay. So you were
Yeah.
fleshing
So
out your people way before you're like, okay,
yeah,
they're not going to fit on Earth. Here's the dream. This is the vision. Now I have a place
yeah,
for them to land.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what I noticed about your book, and I think other people have noticed it too, is that you're not, and a lot of us do this where we have like one main character that we're supposed to be
Hmm.
following, but you don't do that. You kind of
No.
have like this d lots of characters or many different characters who are giving these great meaningful arcs as opposed to concentrating on that one main. Was that a conscious choice? Did you structurally design it that way? And what does that free with you as a storyteller? Like what kind of freedom did that give you?
Um, oh gosh, I haven't thought of it that way. Uh, it was kind of a conscious choice. I knew my main characters. I knew Tam, Tayan, Rain, and Adam. I've always known them. And Kest kind of surprised me. He was like, "Oh wait, you forgot about me." And so
I'm
um,
here.
I'm here, and I wanted to give them each their own story, but it felt like they needed to be told together. So I structured it together because they are such a tight-knit group that it felt like their lives needed to intertwine more than their own individual stories would have allowed.
Yeah, I think that's a thing that many of us probably struggle with is trying to
Mhm.
decide how to. You may have strong characters, you want them to be strong, but you also don't want to overtake that main storyline. So you end up writing that person a whole separate book,
Yeah.
which is exactly 1000% what I did. And I honestly, I guess this sounds stupid, but I didn't think about it the other way. So I feel like that makes the way that you handled it
Yeah.
was pretty genius because it does make more sense for it all to be cohesive.
Yeah. The other question I get with it is, don't you have problems killing people? No, not at all. My book spans over 800 years. There are humans.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
They have to they have to die at some
Don't
point.
get attached to anybody. She's gonna
Yeah,
Game of
just
Thrones
don't get
this.
attached. The immortals obviously are there.
Right.
And I do have a race of people that start happening at the beginning, the end of book one, called the Demoni
Yeah.
or the Allure, whichever world you're looking into. So yeah, I make up words for my Alluran language, which are kind of interesting to make up. But so the Demoni are that half human, half demon kind of subset, and that's where DM comes in at the end of book one.
What you were talking about how you're, and we both know that our characters are gonna do whatever they want to do, and having so many different characters that have their own
Mhm.
arc. What surprised you the most about how the readers connected with your characters? Like, what did you expect that?
I didn't. I didn't. They're my friends, they're my characters, and so I didn't expect them to become other people's friends and characters. I just thought they'd like the story, but now I have people being like, how could you do that, or I really like this person, or is this person's story arc gonna get more in front of everybody else? Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah, and that kind of surprised me. Why, I
Do you
don't
not want
know,
to share
because
your
I've read
friends with
books that I'm
us?
like that.
Share
What?
your friends with us. Did you not want to?
Well, no. Um, that's actually a good story. No, I never intended to publish at all.
Oh, so you
Never.
did this for yourself.
I did this for myself. I had all four books written and copyrighted. Never intended to publish. But my mom read the first uh, book and then got a hold of the second book and then started passing it around her friend group. Before I knew it, all four books had been written or read by these ladies, and they told me if I didn't publish, they were going to publish for me.
Oh,
And I didn't want to lose control of my books. So I
thanks,
was like,
Mom.
yeah, I was like, no. But then I was like, oh, okay, sure, whatever. Super nervous. And I've had to learn the
Terrified.
whole process. It's been an adventure. But yeah, no, I never intended to share it. It
And
was
so now
always
that
just
these
meant
people
for
are
me.
connecting with your characters, it's just like, who would have thunk? These have been in my head since I was a kid.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
I tell people this was just my way to get the voices out of my head.
Oh, oh.
Yeah. And another author would understand that.
Yes, no,
Your
I
characters,
1000%.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
currently working on one that's been living here for so long that if I don't get it out, they'll never leave.
right.
And I need
And
sometimes you gotta have let them out into the world.
you do. And every once in a while, a character will just pop into my head randomly, and I have whiteboards all over my office that I'll write their names and a little bit about them, and we'll see where that eventually goes, if anywhere.
Now you
So,
describe your book as kind of this epic fantasy or like a romantasy,
yeah.
um, which I don't know how I do think it's going to be an epic series across the board. How do you feel about the term romantasy?
I don't like the term romantasy. I just no. So I usually use fantasy romance. So it's got that fantasy, but it is a romance. And
I
then
think
when
I
I
think the epic romantic fantasy is a better description to me than
yeah,
romantasy.
romantasy just kind of sounds, honestly, it sounds like something for a 13-year-old.
Ooh. That was a hot take.
I mean, and
You're
I don't
not
mean it.
wrong.
Yeah, like that word just reminds me of pink fairies and princesses and something, your junior high, early high school girls titter about or whatever.
And that is not this book.
And this is not this book in any way. I touch on subjects of grief
Yeah.
and suicide, death, love, um, all sorts of different emotions that really shouldn't be read necessarily by the
The younger
younger
crowd.
generation. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the readers who are just now discovering your books, what do
Mm-hmm.
you hope that they feel when they close the book? They've read that last page. What do you hope that they feel?
Anticipation to read the second book.
I knew you were going to say that.
you know, I hope they feel connected enough with the story and interested enough in the characters, the storyline, the world building that they do want to continue reading. Because the book is a four-part series, I touch on everything I've started in book one and bring to a culmination in book four. And so
Good to know.
book
Good to know.
three, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say good to know because I'm about to start the next one. So good to know.
Yeah. So book three, I'm hoping comes out at the end of May. That's the goal date. And it's about Rain and a Cassell. And that story touches on more of the religion that's kind of woven through the books, um, that is led by the prophetess. And so I call it The Calling. And so it talks more about the calling. And that book three also talks more about the Alluran people. It's where a demoni, so a half demon, half human girl, learns about the Allurans, about the people. And so it kind of takes more place, more, um, the world becomes more in that book. Does that make
It
sense?
does. And
Yeah.
since that's coming out in May and you don't want
Mhm.
people to wait, when will the fourth one be out?
November, the end of
Oh,
November.
you literally are putting them out back to back.
Yeah.
Genius.
So I decided about 6 to 7 months apart. So my first one came out May of 25. My second one came out November of 25. And so it'll complete the rotation this year.
Smart. Now,
Yeah.
I have to ask, because I've asked everybody, what is the hardest part for you in being an indie author?
Marketing.
Truth.
Truth.
Praise.
Yeah.
Pass the offering
Yeah.
plate. So true.
Yeah. If you had have asked me at the beginning of my first book, it would have been formatting. formatting is a pain.
Editing,
Um,
formatting, all of that
Editing,
is.
formatting, all of that. And I just saw a meme recently that had an author reading their book 1,000 times to edit. And then they hit publish and then they find all the spelling errors.
I 1000% did that.
Yeah, I did that too. I got the proof in my hand and I was reading it through just to make sure. And there was one word misspelled. I had not capitalized the word you at the beginning of a sentence. And I'm
And
like, you know what?
somebody will
Nobody's
catch that and call you out.
amen. And I was like, maybe they won't. So for 2 days, I ignored it. And then, nope, nope. So I had to re-upload everything.
Yeah, people don't
But
realize that we can re-upload it as many times as we need to,
exactly.
but it can be difficult. I had to reformat mine several times so the next page wouldn't bleed into the middle. Didn't know that
Yeah.
till I got the proof. They don't tell you these things.
No, and the first proof I got, a glitch had happened, and the pivotal point in book one was missing.
Oh,
Yeah, so I was like, wait, what? So I
but
had to
now
go
that it's
back
not
in.
formatting, now it's marketing and trying to get your book in front of
Yes,
some. Formatting seems
yes.
so much easier now in comparison to marketing.
So much easier. Marketing is so hard because you've got to be the kind of person that can get out there and, tell people about your book. And that's not been me. I'm getting better at it. Still not great. Then you have to learn how to, you know, deal with all the scammers who want to market for you. They also want to tell you how great your book is, but then you have to pay me to
To
tell
review it.
others how great the book is.
Yeah, I don't like that. I
Yeah,
wasn't
I don't either.
expecting the minute I turned it like my Instagram into like a bookstagram type thing that
Hmm.
the minute someone knows that you've released a book that everybody and their mom is going to say, "Hey, for $25, I'll review it." And I had to put
Yes.
up on my page saying, "I do not pay for reviews. I do not pay." But
Yeah.
you will get harassed.
Harassed. And I didn't expect that at all. The other thing I didn't expect is how many people think that because I'm an indie author, I'm going to give them a free book.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. So I get marketers and everything send me a free book in both ebook and paperback format, and we'll make a post for you. Well, you don't ask traditionally published authors to send you a free book. So why would you ask an indie author, especially considering we put so much work and our own money into it? It's kind of rude.
I'm glad
Yeah.
somebody said it. Nobody has said it yet, but I'm glad that somebody said it. It's different if I choose to send you a free copy.
Exactly, exactly. If I want to send you a free copy, I will, and I have to a few people. But for you to think that
You're
it's
owed
your
it.
right to get a free copy of my book because I'm an indie author is weird.
I wonder if people who are reading don't realize that in order for us to get those books, we have to pay for them to be printed.
Exactly. I don't think they do.
No.
I think they think that when you publish a book, that's it.
Yeah. And that's
It's
it. It's
magic.
amazing. Yay, us.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
And
no
it's
big
kind of
publishing house telling us that it's okay.
exactly,
I wish they
exactly.
would. That would make my life so much easier.
I do like being an indie author though, because I have more control over what happens with my book.
That's
I get
true.
to, yeah, I get to figure out what cover I want on it. I get to figure out what my blurb is, which is blurb writing is very difficult. I've learned that as well. But I think that, if you get traditionally published, you have less control over what happens to your book.
They can do
And
some
I'm a control
editing
freak.
about things that you really wanted to be in there. Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
get it. I mean,
exactly.
ideally, don't we all want to have our book on a bookshelf and make
Oh,
lots and
yes.
lots of money, but they don't, we know how much control we'd have to give up, and we're used to having that control.
Exactly. Exactly.
But don't get me wrong, I would love for somebody to come and like knock on my door and say, I want to buy your books and I want to publish them and turn it into a movie. So if you're out there,
Oh, my
turn our
goodness.
books into movies.
Yeah, if somebody wanted to turn mine into a movie or, a 6 part, mini series or whatever, you just go right ahead.
Yeah, then you can do whatever
just
you want to it. I don't care.
just let me know. I would like some creative control in it, but let me know.
Yeah, yeah. I don't even care who you cast, because I know that whatever I have in my mind, they're not going to cast.
Yeah, I get people ask me, well, if you could choose any actor to play Tam, for instance, who would you choose? I haven't met him yet. None of them look like what I think Tam looks like. So,
I have that problem. Everybody, they because they want to see him. When I was making my cover, I made them faceless for a reason.
yeah, yeah. And I don't have people on my cover
Yeah, I
for
noticed
a
that.
reason.
That's
Yeah,
smart. That's very smart.
yeah,
But I'm in
yeah.
that romantic comedy genre, and you have to have
Which,
something on there.
yeah, yeah.
So
And so on my genre, well, I kind of blend genres, I
you
think.
do.
And so it was hard to pick out a cover because romance wants the lovers on the cover
They
kind of
do.
thing. Fantasy wants the
Sword.
swords and the yeah.
You
Dark
know, the
romance wants
sword.
the
They all want
skulls
a
and the
sword.
roses.
Yes.
And I'm like, I have darkness and fantasy and romance. And you know what? The moon is super important in my books. So
Just go with
I'm
that.
going to put a moon.
And now
Every
everybody's
book
going to
cover
see
is going to
that
have a
because your
moon.
covers are going to be on the screen, so they'll be able to see it
Yeah.
right there.
So right there.
So
yeah.
give me one tip for a brand new indie author, someone who's getting ready, and I know that it's getting time. I'm actually past time at this point. Give me one
Sorry.
quick tip. No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Give me one quick tip.
For
Someone
a brand new author,
who's just thinking about, I want to publish a book.
do it. It's worth it. You're going to think that you're scared, you're an imposter, your writing's not good enough. But over the year that I have been doing this now as a published author, I'm realizing that indie authors write stories that are amazing and wonderful and have touched my life. And yours could be the very next one. So just do it. Either that or your mom's going to do it for you.
Mom's going to pass it around to all her friends.
Exactly. But no, and I'm glad somebody told me that. That group of ladies told me that. Just do it. And it was scary advice, but it's freeing. It really is.
It is. And they don't tell you how exciting it is. They don't tell you.
No.
I mean, yes, there's anxiety and there's fear, and there's all of
Mhm.
that, but there's that when someone reads it and you get like that one good review
You cry.
and it's not your friend. And that is where the recording cut off because my internet went out. I live on a mountain and the wind blows. And then when the wind blows, our internet goes out. Yeah, yes. But Louella Ranes' books are available. All of her information is on the screens, so you can go back and check it. And I hope you check out her books because I really enjoyed the first one. And I hope you will like and subscribe. I hate saying that, but I guess I'm going to have to. And I will see you at the next one. We do have more interviews scheduled. So I hope you have a great night.